Hello everyone, I am Heponwana. I am so happy to be here for another run-in for reals. I've been here a few times before, always love this event, such a great cause. I just want to say it is something personal for me. My family has a lot of adoption that has made it what it is and the loving family that it is. And on top of that, my partner and I are actually in the process of getting ready to hopefully adopt someone into our family. So this is a really important cause to us. I just want to say, bring in more money for this if you can. If you could donate, please do. During Celeste, I'm doing any percent. During this run, for every death I have, that's going to be $1 I will donate to the Real Hope Project, because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and no better way than, throw in a little fun with the run. So Celeste, hopefully you know this game. If you don't, I'll explain what's going on as if you don't know it. And I am speedrunning this, but I'm not the best speedrunner in the world at this. This is not a world record run. I just think I put on a good, fun, wholesome run. So we're going to go ahead and start off by going into our save files, and we are going to delete this save file. No better way to start from beginning than to start fully from the beginning, and time will begin as soon as I hit begin here. So when we speedrun this game, it goes off of in-game time for leaderboards, but we're doing RTA because this is a real-time event. So time begins in 3, 2, 1, go. And so we will start off by immediately skipping a cutscene. And here we are. We are Madeline. We are not Celeste. This is a case like Legend of Zelda, where the name of the game is not the name of who you are. So you are not Celeste. You're Madeline, who is trying to climb the mountain, Celeste. And you kind of have anxiety. You are a little depressed. You are somebody who is facing some of the harsher parts of life. And there we go, we're done with the intro here. The intro, all we could do is run, jump, climb, that's it. But now that we beat the intro, we are diving into having the ability to dash. So we're going to use dashing to really start speedrunning this game in some real cool ways. So basic dash, you could do things like that. But we're going to do more than just basic dashing. We're going to do things like wall jumps. We're going to carry our momentum across screens. We're just going to try and keep things as fast as we can. We're going to do a wall jump. Ooh, we're going to miss a wall jump there, but we're just going to keep going through. And our goal is we just want to see end credits. We want to get to end credits. That is what any percent is. But there is more to it than that. Some people play through different categories, such as collecting all those strawberries. You'll see strawberries from time to time. There are a bunch of them in this game. We are not going to collect them as part of this run, but that doesn't mean we are not going to collect any. I like to get a few, what I call the swag berries. There's 3 that are just fun to grab during a run. You'll also notice I'm going to keep skipping what looks like the intended way to get through certain areas, and just kind of take it a little bit faster. That's what the speedrunning route is all about. So for example, one of the best ones for a skip is coming up right here in this room. You're supposed to go up and around, and instead we'll do just some little fancy movements there. Those spikes, anytime you see these white spikes, they will kill you if you touch the spiky end, but if you touch the non-spiky end, usually they won't kill you. So we're going to use that to try and manipulate the environment a little bit for some pixel perfect type moves. So far, no deaths, but like I said, for every death, I am going to donate $1 to the Real Hope Project. If any of you want to join in for that, don't worry, I won't have too many deaths. Maybe do half $1 a death if that's what you could afford, because, part of charity is making sure you take care of yourself as well, because if you're not able to take care of yourself and you help people too much, well, never good news. So don't donate more than you can, but if you can donate, go ahead and join me for some money per death. I'm going to skip another cutscene. Our big thing here is skipping cutscenes. when I came in a little under that block, I wanted to hit that second block because you go through them very fast, you might notice, and we're going to take advantage of that speed. So every chapter from this point on has what I call the first part, which is teaching you about a mechanic, the second part, which is going to teach you really how to use that mechanic, and then the third part, which is this right here, which I consider the boss fight. So this boss fight, we have Badeline. You're probably wondering, who's Badeline? She looks very familiar. Like, what if Madeline had different colored hair? And that's because Badeline is your negative emotions, your depression, your anxiety, your stress. And here's a new mechanic. Coins, grab all the coins. Oh boy, that is unfortunate. That is me trying to thread the needle on getting a death. But if you get all those coins, you'll open up some type of door or something. Wow, I am just dancing in some very weird ways. But here we will need to get through these rooms with Badeline chasing us. There's a nice little secret right here. Some of these secrets or some of these routes I take are speedrun specific, and some of them are actually there for anyone to use. You just gotta learn about them. Other important thing is our dash. Anytime we use our dash, it will run out until we hit the ground again. But if we dash while on the ground and time it just right, we can actually refresh our dash, and our dash refills every time we do a screen transition. So we're going to use this type of resetting of a dash, like right there you saw. Oop, that was me trying to show too much and doing it slightly wrong. But we're going to try and use ways to refill our dash without hitting these springs or other things that actually slow us down, as I hit the springs repeatedly. Going to try and reset our dash in various ways to make sure we could continue using it as much as possible. So I always feel good on my run if it's less than 5 minutes at the end of chapter 2, because it's a good like mental checkpoint of knowing how good I'm doing. And this is where things get hard, and be proud of your death count, because it means you're learning and it means we're raising money for a great cause. So this here is the resort. I went a little slow there, and that was using our dash refreshing on a screen transition to skip quite a bit of maneuvering. This stage, the color red definitely fills me with anxiety, so it's a good stage for really making you get nervous. It is the resort. It's filled with what we love to call the red dust bunnies of doom, and they are bad news. This game, also has keys. I did not mean to do that, but that counts as a death. That was a death right there. I did a death. Let's just say that was to help raise... Whoa, that was... Okay, that's me making sure I'm going to bring in some money for the good cause. Actually, that's what I wanted to do. And we're going to meet this guy occasionally, Mr. Oshiro. Mr. Oshiro is the owner of this resort. He is also a ghost, and because he's a ghost, things have fallen into bad repair at this resort. He also has some inner demons of his own. A very common theme in this game is a lot of people are dealing with stress, anxiety, depression, things like that, and this game has some very good positive messages when you're not skipping all the cutscenes as quick as possible like we're doing in this run, but good messages about self-acceptance, self-love, self-help, just taking care of ourselves and taking care of our mental well-being. Gotta wait for this door to open, and now we go through. Sometimes I will take an extra moment to wait for a cycle to look right, because it is a lot quicker to not fall down there. It's a lot quicker to not die in a room than to die in a room. So every time we die, tends to lose more time than if we just take a second to recenter and refocus. Try and force your way through on this game is never good news. We now have 3 ways we could go from this room. We want this way, and the reason for it is because each one of these areas we are going to go through, and we are going to come back out to Mr. Oshiro again, and where he is in the room is preset. I have 2 jump buttons, so I could actually jump through that spike because we did not touch the spiky part of it. So we are helping Oshiro put away luggage, blankets, and books. And you'll notice we popped out very close to where he is. We're going to take the upper route this time because it will once again put us right where he would be at the end of going through this area. And I'm going to take a second there to not rush through, but instead not get bopped by that dust bunny of doom. Those little hairs on the ground, you might notice that when I walk over them, they tend to, or slide on the wall ones, they turn to the dust bunnies of doom afterwards, so you never want to run across them twice. So once again, we're going to fall out close to Oshiro, because that's the whole purpose of the route we're picking. We're also going to meet here our buddy Theo. Unfortunately, we're not going to talk to him long this room. Just keep moving to the right and you will get through. It's a real cool thing with cycles. Something I should probably mention with cycles is every room has 2 cycles. There is the entry cycle and the death cycle. Entry cycle is how the room is when you enter it the first time, and death cycle is how the room is if you die and respawn in it. The game has no real RNG, but knowing those cycles is very important because some rooms, that death cycle is going to cost you a lot of time, and you might even find it better to exit the room, re-enter the room, which ends up just consuming extra frames, extra time, but sometimes it's for the better. I'm also going to try a trick coming up that I will give it 5 shots. It's a trick that I always have a lot of problems with, but it is really cool when it works. So that'll be coming up in a couple rooms, and I'll try and explain what it is ahead of time. So what it is I am going to try and jump through. That was unfortunate. I am going to try and jump through some red dust bunnies of doom that will look like a solid wall, but it's actually going to be a non-wall. There's a small single frame hitbox missing that we could slide through, and it's right here. I'm going to first go down here to reset my checkpoint, and I will try this 5 times, $5 if I don't get it. Got through. So I could jump through. There is a small little gap there that you would not have expected was there. I fell off cycle. And what it is I have 2 dash buttons. One that just dashes and one that crouches while I dash. The crouching one we call a demo dash, named for a speedrunner who discovered it. And those crouch dashes can fit you through special areas. I wanted to go up above. That is a small little mistake, but all is good. So here is the boss fight here. This is Oshiro. Oshiro is not happy we're trying to leave his resort. He's in a bad mood, and we're trying to explain to him, hey, we have things we need to do. We can't just stay with you forever. But I don't think he is hearing that. He cares not. Oh, and he barely beat me there. There we go. That's what it should look like. So we want to go through. We could also bop Mr. Oshiro. Look at that. Just bop him on the head like it's nothing. So I'm going to play a little safe there. I did not feel good with trying to rush through that. And bop him again. And this is the final room of Oshiro's temper tantrum. I am going to play it safe there. We don't want to die on this one because this room in particular, the death cycle is really bad. So I'm going to play a little safe there and get through. Ideally less than 7 minutes for that stage, but look at that. We got through a little over 7 minutes. I'd call that really good. We're leaving Oshiro behind. 5 deaths. I was expecting 5 of them to fail on that demo dash skip, so doing pretty good. I might have to up that. You know what? If we end up under 30 deaths, I might have to up the amount per death because I'm not going to feel right giving that little. Or I say that now and we're just going to see me die quite a bit. So this stage is Golden Ridge. There are some new mechanics here. We're also going to see Granny again. One of the new mechanics are those blue bubbles that you saw. They will boost us forward a little bit, and bubbles will refresh our dash. The other main mechanic, wind. And wind can be bad. These bubbles, if you dash as soon as you get in them, you will make them move a little quicker. Otherwise, they will not move for a few frames. They kind of rev up. And we don't want to give them a few frames, so instead, we're just going to hit dash and make them go quicker. There's also wind going other directions. It doesn't always have to push you backwards. It could sometimes push you forward, which can be potentially just as dangerous. And we'll even see later on wind going up, wind going down. Wind can go all over the place. If you run out of your dash and stamina, you could still wall jump if the wind is pushing you. We're going to do another one of these little corner jumps right there. So the way those corner jumps work, I don't think I told you too well, except where it involves not touching the tips of the spikes. I have 2 jump buttons. This game, important thing, if you're speedrunning, you want to map a few bonus moves to your controller. One of them is 2 jump buttons. The second jump, if you hold the first jump, hit spikes on a corner like I was hitting, and then while holding that first jump, hit the second jump, you will jump again, and you will get that little corner jump. So you want to have 2 jump buttons. I also have the 2 dash buttons because I explained there's a regular dash and demo dash, the dash while crouching, which is different than dashing while pressing down. And the game will allow you to map those. I also map down and accept so that when I hit the button to go into my menu, hit the start button, I could then hit just one button to quickly hit down and accept, which would be restart or skip cutscene, and that'll save us some time as well. What's real cool is if you ever are interested in speedrunning this, there are so many runners of this game and some really great runners who have put out really great videos that are just incredibly informative. And like I said, I'm not the best runner in the world at this, but I have a lot of fun, and it feels really good just getting, to this level of running the game. So I highly recommend, if you want a cool speed run that's very forgiving, because it is all based on you learning the game. It is not about RNG or anything like that. But at the same time, presents a lot of challenge. Consider running this one. It is just a blast. Also, the game looks gorgeous. It's more than 6 years old and it still looks this good. Like, it is ridiculous how good this looks. These blocks will fall when you stand on them, but if you jump off of them, they will fall even quicker. So here we are going to do some more wind challenges, but now comes the true boss of this area, the snowball. These snowballs will come at the height you're at. You can bop them, but be mindful that bopping them can be very hard, especially when you've got a lot of wind kind of pushing at you. Trick with these springs is dash right away and you could keep moving quicker. You don't need to go the height of the spring bounce unless you're trying like right there to actually get up high. And there we are, we're done with the snowball. Well, we're done with it for now. We will see the snowball one more time. So jump on those breakable blocks and they will fall quicker. And that way you could keep moving quicker. Let's end with a swagberry. I mentioned earlier swagberries. We are going to do 3 strawberries in this run. There's one of them. You don't collect it until you hit the ground for a long enough time. And there we go. We're done with the Golden Ridge. got through relatively unscathed. Normally you end coming across Theo, who teaches you some good breathing exercises and how to battle your anxiety. How did I not get a death on that chapter? That was ridiculous. That is not what I do. I normally die quite a bit. This here is Mirror Temple. This is kind of the spooky area of the game. Well, this and the resort with the red dust bunnies of doom, both of them are kind of on the spooky side. So here we have new mechanic, red bubbles. Red bubbles keep going until they hit something or you dash out of them. So let's keep moving. There is a faster way through this area. I just don't have the luck with it. I don't have the skill quite down, so I go a little out of the way. It costs a little bit of time, but it's okay. It just means I have more skills and tricks to learn with time, and that's what's great about this game is you could keep learning new stuff. There's always so much to learn in this game. We're also about to see our best friend Theo. Well, we saw him for a second. He's in the mirror, which I'm not sure if that's a good thing, you know? Usually you don't want to see people trapped in mirrors, but we'll try and figure that one out. So we'll take a slightly unintended route here, which is doing that. And now we are supposed to get a key. So unless we get a key, we can't go to the right here. Oof. That was me hitting the wrong direction. That's my bad. There's a door right back there. We can't get through unless we know of this very hidden route that just lets us bypass that. So we're going to bypass it and just continue on our way. This is a very long room, so we do not want to die in this room. And thankfully we did not die. And then we are going to use that screen change to refresh our dash to get up here a little quicker. Here we are going to now learn about Seekers. So Seekers are these really nasty fish demon looking things. They are very, they can cause stress. Let's just say they are high anxiety. Right now we get play as one, but after this they're going to play with us. Hit a button to accept our death. Anytime you die, if you hit a button, you will die quicker and respawn quicker. There's Battleline. Don't worry, Battleline is not here to fight us. Instead, she is here to tell us, what do you think you're doing? You're doing this wrong. You know, she's talking down to us, but it's okay. We'll go, meant to hit that without having to go there. All right. And so we are about to now enter the world of Seekers. So the Seekers are going to be part of our life from here on out for a bit. And these guys live up to their name. They seek. And I am hitting those slightly wrong. Ooh, I did not want to. I just wanted to donate a little for charity right there. That's what that was all about. There is no way I accidentally died. Oh boy. Jumping the gun or actually raising money for charity, like I said, it's not that I died or did a mistake. I intended to do that to make sure that death count is bringing in some good money for the Real Hope Project. We'll just continue through these rooms, let that guy pick that up for us. So these Seekers, what's really cool about them is they could pick up these coins for us. Okay, and we'll bop him. When they die and come back, because I missed my jump by a pixel. Oh well, oh it's fine. I'll go a slightly different route here. When they die and come back, they kind of have an explosive force. And that explosive force is something we can take advantage of if things go right. We have a little cutscene here we're going to skip. Oof. That was me hitting the wrong direction again. Sorry about that. Or not. Bringing the money for Real Hope for each of those deaths. So we're going to do a skip up here. Most people who do this game actually play what's known as a B-side here. I don't. I'll explain B-sides in a second, but we're going to do a little skip. You are meant to find a red bubble several rooms back and find some keys to open the route to get through with the red bubble, but instead we just did a little bit of a fancy move and all was fine. So I mentioned B-sides. This game, we are playing the A-sides. A-side is the typical levels. They're challenging on their own. B-sides, you have to unlock them. They do count as finishing a stage if you unlock them and beat them. It takes a little time to get to a B-side. The main thing about B-sides is they're shorter, and here is the boss part of this chapter. You'll see why it's a boss in a second. We gotta get Theo, who's trapped in this crystal, through this area. And why is it a boss? Because we've got seekers while we're trying to carry Theo. And this is not easy. And playing it casually, first time through, this is a nightmare to do, and that was unfortunate. So we're going bop him, and there we go. Just continue through. As long as you don't die, you're not doing too bad. So, and he bopped us with his speed, which, oh, I wanted to jump. So like I said, when they die and come back, they are a little explosive, and we can use that to our advantage. Here we don't have a seeker, good news. However, it means in this next room, they're going to give us 2 seekers. So going back to B-sides, B-sides are just like the A-side, but harder and less rooms. So sometimes getting the B-side and then unlocking the B-side and going through it can actually be quicker than going through just the A-side, and that's case in this chapter. However, I am really bad at the B-side, especially when in like a speedrun event type of setup, because the nerves become really real with that one. So we're at the very end of the Mirror Temple, final room. We just need to get through this wavy stuff and throw Theo at this eyeball, and there we go. We're done with the Mirror Temple. More deaths than I would have liked to have seen, but it's okay. 7 minutes and change, not too bad. 5 deaths, that's actually a lot better than I thought I did. So C-sides though, you don't typically see them in speedruns except for the C-side categories or completionist categories. They are incredibly hard, like unbelievably hard, but they're only 3 screens big. So it's kind of a, oh boy, slightly off on that, but it's all good. Ideally, you don't touch the ground any there, and you just go from feather to feather. New mechanic here, feather. So the feathers let you float for a little while, uncontrollable or unlimited flight until time runs out. Another new mechanic, cabin blocks. I love cabin blocks. Cabin blocks are great. Like, I love the noise they make, the rah, 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 rah. There's actually a real cool thing where if you name your save file the correct name, you'll actually get Speedrunner Covert Muffin doing the noise of the cabin block. So it's actually Covert Muffin going rah, 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 which is fantastic. I always forget to put the save file name for that, but we're going to use these cabin blocks, get going, and keep moving nice and fast. We're going to use another new mechanic here. Well, new for this run. You run out of stamina, you could still wall jump and get up if you do something called a neutral. A neutral is when you jump off of the wall while not pressing towards the wall. You will actually get a little more height, and then as soon as you get that height, you immediately press towards the wall. We want to get on top of this so we could redo our dash. Otherwise, you fall down below and you just kind of lose a little bit of time there. So we're going to just continue through these cabin blocks and purple spikes and these bumpers, which bumpers, once you hit them, will bounce you, but they'll also refresh your dash as well. So we're going to use that to our advantage a fair amount. So like this guy's going to help us through here. That was slightly off. Kevin blocks give a lot of momentum, and it could be very helpful and kind of harmful. So you need to know how to do it. If you dash from far enough away into those, you'll remain on the ground long enough that your dash will refresh, in which case you can actually dash twice in a row, which is what I did. That is not what I want to do here. If you hit those, you fall out of your feather state, and we don't want to fall out of that until we get out of that room. This stage does have multiple routes. There are actually upper and lower routes on several of these rooms, so it's kind of a fun thing. It's something where there's the accepted speedrun route, but also there might be a route that just works better for you, and if so, it might save you some time to go for it. By the way, don't go for that first feather, it's just a time waste. Don't hit that spike, that's also a time waste. But that first one, you lose a little bit of time going for it, so we avoid it. And then this is a nice long feather challenge room before we come across somebody we haven't seen for a while, Granny. So Granny is up here with her bird as usual. So here Granny actually is offering some words of kind of kindness, which is weird for her because she typically doesn't have much kindness. She seems very harsh, but ultimately she is a good, loving character. She just has her way of doing things. Grab that wall and you could just slide down without needing any other inputs. That one there, muscle memory, you do it enough, you'll learn how to do it. Otherwise you had to go around, all the way around the room, and that's a lot more time consuming. So here we have floating water, which is kind of a weird thing. And then we're going to have a big Kevin block ride. Also notice the purple hair. Do we know anyone with purple hair? Is this like setting up anything really big, like a giant boss fight? Yes, it is. So here we go, it's Battleline. Battleline is now, she kind of reached that point where she thought she was helping us a lot. She kept saying things like, the dialogue we skipped was her telling things like, you know, I'm just trying to help you. You don't realize that my depression is actually trying to shield you from bad things that could happen to you. I have never jumped over her before there. But she is pretty much, she's been telling us, hey, you know, I'm here trying to protect you. The depression is me actually protecting you from the harm of the world and everything that could go wrong. And we keep telling her, no, enough is enough. We don't want to hear that. And so she finally reached that breaking point where she says, fine, if you won't listen to me, I'm going to make you listen to me. And she also has a little magnetism to her, so when we go for her, we'll kind of be pulled in a little bit, which is fantastic. This, once again, no RNG, so it's all about knowing what you're doing, knowing what the cycles are, and just learning this. This is also some of the best music, in my opinion, in any video game. This game's soundtrack is amazing, but this track in particular, nothing really pumps me up like this song. It's so perfect for this type of boss fight. And so we are going through what is incredibly hard casually, but it's going to get even harder. We're going to try and do a slight bit of a cycle skip here. Hopefully we could get it squeezed in without having to wait for that laser beam of hers. Normally you would wait for one cycle of the laser. Instead, we squeeze through just barely. And now we're at the part where she tries talking to us and saying, hey, I did you a favor. Like, that's her thing. You aren't a mountain climber, I'm protecting you. And our thing is we don't like the way she's helping us. And so now we have an added challenge. Blocks are moving, so it's even trickier. These moving blocks can give momentum, so we want to be very mindful of that. Like, for example, right here, it flung me way up high because of that upward momentum. Same with that one. We'll go down here. And now the second to last room of the battle line fight, which is also my favorite room in this entire run. The first time I ever did this room, I felt so accomplished, which is the great thing about Celeste, is when you complete something, you feel so good about it because it is a very fair game, just a very hard game. All right, so we are now done with battle line fight. We are also going to get a power up or a level up. We finally reached an agreement with battle line where it's like, you were okay, we get it, you're trying to help us. We're not sure if we want that type of help, but we do appreciate you for it. And because of that, battle line's now working with us. We have a new hair color. The pink hair lets us dash twice, so it goes pink, then red, and then blue is when we're exhausted. And now we're at the true boss fight of this game. 2 deaths on reflection, by the way, is bonkers. So the summit. The summit is the boss fight. It is the final exam. We are going to revisit everything we have experienced. We're going to re-see things we have seen in new, more challenging ways. And we are going to end the run after this chapter. By the way, not the way the game intends you when you're first starting. That almost got dicey. But using the second dash, it means we can cancel out from these springboards. Also not the way the game intends you to originally go, but it's a little faster. Oh, I bobbled my buttons. Did not want to do that, but it's all good. Remember what the game said, be proud of your death count. I hit that a little off. But be proud of your death count, because it means you're learning. And it's one thing I love on this game, is every time I play it, I'll do something new, a little better. I'll do something old, a little worse. And it's a good opportunity to learn in both cases. What am I doing that I could improve on? This is the best game, in my opinion. Oof. I'm not even going to say what that was. But this is the best game, in my opinion, for just honest speedrun improvement and feeling good about what you do, feeling accomplished with each new gold checkpoint, each new gold split. That was unfortunate. I jumped a touch early, one jump right there, used that momentum. And here, you probably recognize this from the start of the game. We were going through an area much like this, but a lot simpler. Well, now it is a lot more complex, but we do have battle line helping us. Once you see battle line flinging you, that is the last room in that area. And then she will take you away. Unfortunately, coming up next is Dream Blocks Revisited, so this is not too bad. And we're going to do some dream jumps, which is when you jump out of the block. If you hit jump at the exact right time, you will actually get a little boost of distance. So we'll see it here coming up right here and right here and right there and there. So dream jumps are really cool, really good. And this stuff is really fun to go through as you learn the game, learn the routes. You need a dream jump there if you do the route I do. If you don't dream jump, you won't quite make it. I came in way too low. Let's pretend I didn't. We wanted that. There we go. Don't want to go too fast in this room because too much momentum can actually lead to an unintended death. So we'll go a little slower entering that room. And now we're done with the dream blocks, but now we are at the worst. The red evil dust bunnies are back. And this area, like I said, the dust bunnies, they are really good at just causing added anxiety. That was unfortunate. Did not mean to do that, but still survived, so it's all good. There is a quicker way through that room, but it's not nearly as marathon safe, and I'd prefer to get through and not just end up hitting my head against a wall, so to speak. So luckily, the evil red dust bunnies are not treating me too bad. Normally they treat me a whole lot worse, but there's still time for them to get to me, so we'll see what happens. All right. So here, upper diagonal jump or boost, and it'll fit you through there perfect. And now we are at battle line, which means this is the last part of the evil dust bunnies of doom that we will see this entire run. Take a second so we don't die there. It's better take a second than to bop. Soon as you split, you could do the cutscene skip. And now we're at the Golden Ridge. Remember how earlier I said I like getting swag berries? We are going to get some more swag berries here. In fact, we're going to get one right here. Don't let it bop us on those spikes. And here comes one swag berry that I am going to have that berry work hard to get to me. And now, I also mentioned before the snowball would be coming back. Well, here it is. Thankfully, that is it for the snowball. We will never see that snowball again, at least in this run. Other runs, you might see him coming up again. And of course, if you speedrun the game again, you'll see him again. Snowball, though, always causes me a little bit of stress because they're very good at causing problems. So right here, we'll just dodge these spikes. We can't control this block any. Head up here. Oh boy, that was unusual. All right. And here is our other swag berry. And we'll get it a lot quicker. We're not going to make it work that hard for us. Keep one bounce or one dash, so we could do that. And now, battle line time, we're going to have the wind. That was unusual. I hit the wrong direction. But it's all good. That's another $1 for the Real Hope Project. So here we go. Do a nice paper off of that. Bounce over here. Let battle line take us away. And now we are going to Mirror Temple redo. And I'm getting thirsty. I'm talking so much. If only this game gave you a chance to hydrate, like right now. Longest hydration break. There we go. I feel good. Got a little seltzer in me. Probably feel better with a little coffee, but with how fast I'm running my mouth, maybe I'm a little over-caffeinated already. So then we are going to do some cool skips coming up soon. There's a real cool skip here, but I actually cannot do it. If you ever watch speedruns of this, you'll see people actually do weird movements through this room. But we'll grab the key. We will take an intentional death there because that'll put us back at the entrance of the room. Because you always well, almost always have checkpoints at the start of a room, wherever you enter from. There are exceptions to that. We will actually see some major exceptions coming up real soon. And we're going to see a really cool skip here using, we're supposed to hit these green switches to raise these doors up. But remember how I mentioned demo dashing or crouch dashing? Using that, we can make our hitbox just small enough to fit under those doors or pillars. And doing that saves not the most time in the world, but it does save a couple seconds overall in that room. Oh, I jumped higher than I normally do. That was unfortunate because this room is a big room, and to die there is dying at the very end of a big room, which is a good way of wasting time. But it just means you have me for a couple seconds extra. And we'll do it again. Marathon nerves or me trying to help raise more money for the Real Hope Project through extra deaths? You decide which one. So let's do it correctly this time. I say as if I was trying to not do it correctly before. There we go. That's what it should have looked like. And now we are at 3,000 meters. This is the final exam. There are 30 checkpoints. Each time you hit one of those checkpoints, oh boy, that was unfortunate. There we go. So each time you hit one of those checkpoints, it means if you die, you will be respawning there instead of the beginning of the screen, because these screens are big. Also, downdraft. Ooh, that's me bringing in an extra $1. So this downdraft is kind of it's a pain. It's annoying. But we could work through it. Oh, barely missed that. So there is, where I said barely missed that, there is a near pixel perfect way of doing some dashes there that will actually get you through that a little bit quicker. So, bright side, we are done with downdraft as soon as we reach battle line right here. And now we have a new fun thing, updraft. I love updraft because it really changes how the game feels. Because all of a sudden, it's moon gravity. Like, everything's really floaty, and it really makes you kind of extra think how you're going to make some of your jumps. Also, our time together will be done when I reach the summit, which is after the 1 flag. So we are coming up on time pretty soon. We are only like a couple minutes away. Oh, good thing I just reached that checkpoint. That would have been bad to have not reached that checkpoint before getting that death. And we are actually going to skip a checkpoint coming up real soon. We will get number 10. And we will get number 9, but we are not going to go for number 8 because it's right back there, and meanwhile it's just like 1 or 2 jumps more to get through to the next checkpoint. Also, if you skip a checkpoint at the very beginning, like this one right here, I grabbed because I fell on it, but we're going to have another one coming up in just a second that I am not going to go for that checkpoint. If I died, I'm not going back to the previous screen's checkpoint because that checkpoint is at the start of the room. It automatically counts. It's automatically active no matter what. So we are at number 3. And we are coming up on time pretty soon. As long as I don't do anything ridiculous, we will see time really soon. Also, we will see what was the point of those strawberries, which are purely collectible. They have no purpose. Like, if you read the loading screen tooltips, and there's one, if you read the tooltips, it'll say there is no purpose to them. Well, there actually is, and we are gonna see what it is real soon. Time is in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. And that there is Celeste, but we need to see how many debts I had to know how much I owe to the Real Hope Project, how much I am donating. So let's go ahead and we will just jump through the credits. Normally I say though, read the credits. It's a great team that made this game. So everyone meets up. We all have a pie with the strawberries, which it's a 3-berry pie. It kind of looks rather sad. 22 deaths is actually the least amount of deaths I have ever had in this entire game. I don't know what happened. And because of that, because it's a personal best for deaths, not a PB for time, but for deaths, I'm going to do $2 per death because it's a great cause. If any of you want to join me, please consider doing so, because Real Hope Project is helping kids who really can use, a little help in life, finding forever homes, finding good, loving families. And at the end of the day, isn't that what Madeline just went through? She just brought together her own makeshift family of these fun, slightly out there characters, but that's what we're here for, bringing people together. So thank you for having me. Once again, I am so happy to have been welcomed back to Runnin' for Reals. I love this charity. I love this cause. I love this event, and everyone involved with it is so positive and good. So thank you and much love, my friends.
And a big thank you right back at you, Heponwana. Now, far be it from me to tell you how to allocate the money that you're going to donate, but there are a couple of polls, bid wars that still need to be decided, and we still do have to hit that 3-heart challenge for Link's Awakening.
I think I have ideas of how I need to allocate my donations.
And that goes for everyone else who's listening too, not just Heponwana. Although, I do owe everyone a thanks for helping us hit the milestone for the bonus run of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past later, as well as just helping set a new PB overall for Running for Reals, raising over $2,440 so far. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us for Running for Reels. A couple of important updates. First of all, we have an $88 donation from Heponwana, who said, "Here's for each death in my Celeste run." I think I said $4 per death, right? LOL? Sure, we'll go with that. But because of that donation, two things have happened. Well, three. First of all, we are over $2,500 raised. Thank you all so much. Second, Best Party Food in Earthbound now has a front runner with chicken wings having an $88 lead over the pack. And second, the 3 Heart Challenge incentive has been met for Link's Awakening. And just as a reminder of why we're all here today, the goal of the Real Hope Project is making videos for all youths in their focus states who are experiencing foster care and are waiting for an adoptive family. They're currently active in Minnesota, North Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Idaho, Wyoming, and Colorado. Each reel is provided for free to the representing county or adoption agency and is used as a recruitment resource for potential adoptive families. It's through these videos that families can see more than just any trauma associated with a child. They get to see what they like to do, what their hobbies are, what it means to them to have a proper, real, permanent family. And you can learn more about the Real Hope Project at therealhopeproject.org. And if you've been watching this marathon and saying, "Hey, how could I potentially help out?" Well, after this year, Running for Reels is looking to expand and become even bigger and better than what it is now, and potentially become a 24-hour marathon. But that can't happen alone. So if you want to help out, feel free to join the Running for Reels Discord and message Zojalix to see if there's a role that might be right for you. You can type !Discord in the chat to learn more. And as we continue getting set up for our Link to the Past bonus run by Jack Juggler, I'd like to play a brief video showing you a little bit of what the Real Hope Project is all about.